Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Track Talk, your connection coast to coast and beyond in all the latest news, developments, stake race analysis, and interviews inside the world of thoroughbred horse racing. From California to New York, Florida, and Kentucky, we have you covered. It's post time, live from San Diego. It's Track Talk. We're there now, right? Okay, here we go. Welcome, everybody. We're off to a little wet start here in San Diego. And we welcome you no matter where you are on this Saturday morning. We are WSRadio.com. This is Track Talk. And I'm ready to bring in the whole weather report, the show. Along with Tommy D, we'll have Alex Solis joining us here at the second break. The Honorable Alex Solis, Hall of Fame jockey, assistant trainer to Richard Mandela, and a member of the California Horse Racing Board. So get settled in, because what we're going to be talking about, in addition to the horses that are running throughout the country, the big race this afternoon is down at Gulfstream Park, and that is the Fountain of Youth on the road to the Kentucky Derby. But more importantly is the abuse and all the pressure that Santa Anita has been under this week. And it might have started with the Battle of Midway breakdown on Saturday that was reported on this radio program by Toby Terrell and Larry Zapp. And when we talk about the weather conditions that has plagued Southern California, the racetrack has not been removed from Mother Nature, and their situations where another couple of horses have broke down at Santa Anita, calling for an outcry from a lot of the media sources, including a national piece on ABC News. So we go into the studio, get this program off and running. This is Track Talk. I'm Felix Taverna, Tommy D inside the studio. Larry Zapp will join. Toby Terrell will join. We're here on the WS Radio Network. We're located in San Diego, California. We're happy that you're joining us. If you're a first-time listener, in which you might be, because there's been a lot of promotion of our words of this radio show through social media, Twitter, Instagram, and what have you. that we are fighting for the horses and the people that work every single day to bring our sport and come full circle. Tommy D, a pleasure having you in the studio.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to be here. We got some issues here in Southern California, some good racing yesterday. The track, they're trying to get it fixed here, and obviously that's a big concern because without the animals, there's no sport. So that is very important to get the track in right shape here for these animals, and having breakdowns is a concern. And, especially when it gets, mainline news, definitely bad for the sport and gives it the bad publicity that we don't already, that we don't need. We need better publicity moving forward. So we got to get this issue fixed, and hopefully we can get more horses out here in Southern California, get these tracks back in shape. And, I think we got a great day of racing today. I paid attention to Gulfstream Park today, 9 graded stakes there, including the Fountain of Youth, the big 3-year-old prep. Yesterday we saw Roadster win nicely, back in the Derby talk here, possibly after that win yesterday. We'll see what next race comes out of that horse. But also, today, big race up and down at Gulfstream. A couple horses that I'm looking forward to seeing is Jayhawk in race 12. This horse won the Breeder Cup Juvenile by 5.5. This is going to be the first race back for this horse, Jaywalk. Morning line 2-5. This horse seems to be above the others. But number 5, Champagne Anyone. We had Ian Wilkes on the show. He talked to us about this horse at one time. I do like this horse at 6-1. But Jaywalk, very impressive, winning by 5.5 in the Breeders' Cup. So I think Jaywalk will be an interesting one to watch. And I like the Fountain of Youth. You got a couple horses. Number 7, Hidden Scroll for Mott and Rosario. This horse winning by 14, breaking its maiden last time on a sloppy track at Gulfstream. So that's going to be one to watch today. I like Vacoma in that race, and a couple other horses. We'll dig into that. But great day at Gulfstream. Sad Anita with the track conditions. We'll see how it plays out, but I'll be watching the first couple races. We will talk a little about Santa Anita, but we'll dig into Gulfstream mostly.
Yeah, without any doubt about that. Nice analysis, Tommy D. Hidden Scroll, Bill Mott. We had him on the radio program after he romped after his maiden score, where Larry Zapp brought him to us. I don't know if Zapper's online or not, but we're going to try. Zapper, you there? Zapper, are you there?
Come in, Zap.
I think it was my disconnect, actually.
Oh, that's okay.
So
anyway,
back up. He'll get back with us live from Santa Anita. The rain's probably hitting Arcadia, and it's really unfortunate when you think about the weather here in Southern California. Now, you're from upstate New York, so you're conditioned to remembering how this weather plagues and torments your winter time back there in the Northeast. Now, you've been out here for a long period of time. Have you ever seen weather conditions in as much rain as we've seen here in the last 30 days?
No, Felix, you're bringing me back to my nightmares there in upstate New York. I mean, the weather very consistent, cloudy, rainy, snowy. The sun's not out too often. So there's a reason why I moved to San Diego 13 years ago. And going to Saratoga, as a child and with my family, it was great, but you always had a good chance that rain was going to hit one of those days. And with the conditions over there, you never know what's going to hit. And we're getting a little taste of that medicine here in Southern California. And no, to answer your question, Felix, I haven't seen the weather like this since I've been out here. Very rainy, cloudy, not the San Diego norm. So it's something that, you definitely got to put into your handicapping, because it just puts a wrench in everything, because it's something you usually don't have to, worry about out here in Southern California. Conditions are usually pretty consistent, but, we've had a big change with the track conditions, with the rain, the weather. Everything in general plays a big part in this game. So it's just something that you have to put into effect. But yeah, the weather, we're hoping, I'm looking outside, it's cloudy. We're hoping the sun's going to come out, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know. Zap might have some more information about the conditions up at Santa Anita.
We got one better.
Oh, well,
we just had one better. We'll on the phone lines
we'll get somebody connected back on there. So we're trying to figure out what the conditions currently are at Santa Anita. We're in San Diego at the WS Radio Studios in San Diego. You can tune us in and find the app. We're glad you're listening here today to Track Talk, giving you all the information on thoroughbred horse racing across the country. So we got some good things to talk about here. I guess we could race 4 is the 9 graded stakes today at Gulfstream, and race 4 is the Palm Beach grade 3.
Let me just interrupt you.
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
second,
I think
okay?
we're connected.
We're
okay.
all over. We're
all
all
right,
over
we're
the board.
here.
I
We're there.
I know, and it's okay. It's all right. It's live. It's live radio. If networks could preempt and have glitches, when surely we can. We're not an exception to the rule. But joining us live from Santa Anita is my longtime friend, Hall of Fame jockey and trainer Alex Solis, also the honorable of the California Horse Racing Board as he sits on that board. He joins us from Santa Anita at 9:10 on a Saturday. Alex, at top of the morning, how are you?
I'm doing very good, thanks. Good morning to everyone.
How's the weather up there, Alex?
Oh, it's raining. It's been raining since early in the morning, 2 o'clock, so we just taking it easy today.
Alex, Tommy D inside the studio. I'm here across the studio. He's from New York. You're from Panama. You rode in Florida. You came to California. You've been here, California, over 3 decades, maybe 4 decades. I won't even date. But have you ever seen weather in the last 60 days like we have had here in California?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't remember last time, really, to be honest, that we saw so much rain. So we just gotta deal with it.
Alex, you sit on the board of the California Horse Racing Board. You're also working as the assistant trainer to Richard Mandela. You're a Hall of Fame jockey. You've been in this game for a long time, and, you're sort of used to the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows. And the sport, I think, particularly Santa Anita this week, has taken an extreme hit. I mean, there has been some negative publicity towards this track. It was the lead story on ABC News in regard to the breakdowns. Now, you are on horseback in the morning, and I think when they closed the track, because they had some concerns after Sunday, it might have been Monday, but it's been sort of a run of inconsistencies of what to do and how to approach it. So they closed the track down on Monday. They might have opened it on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I know that you were a vital part in giving them some explanation on that track. Did you work it since Monday at Santa Anita?
Yeah, we've been working on him, and I can only speak for what's going on Richard Mandela's barn because I'm there, and this is a guy that is very conservative in his barn, and he has so much experience dealing with all these things. So we've been working steadily.
All right, so you're on horseback in the morning. You're working horses over that track. True or false?
Yes, I am, and really you cannot blame the whole track, but the whole injury is, if you go about what's going on, like here, people in New York expect the change of weather. Here in California, we don't change it. We don't get this kind of weather. We have all this rain and the cold weather. And if you remember when this track was changed, I can't remember how many years back, we changed it with the idea of the mix that they use is to keep them moist. And as you remember, back then we had so much drought, and that was one of the reasons that it was done that way. But of course, now we get all this rain and all this cold weather, and it really we don't have that kind of weather, and we don't have the experience of all these things happening.
Alex Solis joining us here on Track Talk. Alex, so when you work horses over that track, did you notice anything different? I mean, with the weather, it would seem with all the rain, Santa Anita, Tommy D, had 11 inches of rain over the past 21 days, I believe. I went back and researched that. Now, that is for any surface to take. That could be too much asking. I don't know what's in the track, but my thoughts are that, man, are we really in this situation where we had polytrack years ago for situations of having rain, and we had no rain. And Alex just points out when they had polytrack, we had a drought. Now we have the regular track, and we have these monsoons. So, Tommy D, with Santa Anita taking a lot of criticism from that track, Alex says, you can't blame Santa Anita. And I happen to agree. What's your take?
I totally agree. Like we were talking earlier in the show, coming from upstate New York near Saratoga, it's a challenge. The weather there, what you're going to get. Southern California, I've been here 13 years. This is the most rain I've seen since I've been here. So this is a concern here in Southern California. They're not used to it. So, they got to put the touches onto it. They have to bring in some other people to get the track in the right shape. That's great. We need to make sure that, the number one priority is that the horses are safe on the track. Alex, thanks for joining us. Big fan of you. I know you 5,000 wins, $238 million in earnings. So congratulations on a career, great career. So, and now you're in the Mandela barn. My one question would be, is any fillies or mares that maybe you could, cue us in on, maybe keep an eye on out moving forward?
Well, we have a filly that we were very excited about it. That her name is Bashful, and of course Amuse, two really good fillies that I think later on in the year they really could be potential stake winners and great stake fillies. And they're very nice fillies.
Yeah, and very good for that. And, one question about Mandela is that we always talk about Mandela. He's really good with the fillies and mares. Is there something that, about him and his training that makes him better with these horses? Or do you think, what's the secret? Or maybe cue us in on something?
Mandela, he can train any kind of horse, as you remember. He trained horses like Present Perfect. He trained a horse like Johar. He trained a horse, so many great horses. But one of the reasons that people don't understand, he gets a lot of mares because, a lot of breeders trust him with his fillies and the way he trains. He can train any kind of horse, but I'm saying what I'm trying to say is a lot of breeders they really respect him and how he take care of. And at the end of their career, they go into breeding and they're not abused. They're just in good form.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks for analyzing that. I know we talked a little bit about the track conditions. Could you maybe speak on how you think it might play today compared to yesterday, or think speed or off the pace? What do you think from your eye?
Yeah, to be honest, I today was my day off, so I didn't go to the tracks, and the track was closed. So I assumed the silly, and like I said, it was closed. So it's hard to tell how it's going to play because that they just redid the whole track, and it probably is going to be sealed. I'm sure it's going to be sealed. So I don't know how much seal they put into it. So you got to just pay attention to the first three races and go from there.
Yeah,
Alex, I want to ask you a question. When you say seal, what does that mean? Some of our listeners might not have any idea what you mean by seal.
Seal is the pack it down, just to make sure the water don't get through the sand, and just to keep it stable. So they pack it down, and it depends how much rain they think they're going to have. So I assume, I'm not sure, I don't quote me this, we're going to have rain the next 3-4 days, so it's going to pack down a lot more, and usually yes, and then they will figure out how much they're going to cut it for the races. Again, it's the track man doing what he thinks is best for the track. And like I said, we're going to have rain the next few days, so I'm not sure how packed down they're going to be. It just depends on how much rain we're going to get. So, yeah, I think you got to pay attention to the first three races and go from there.
Well, they have to be quite concerned and scared in regard to coming back yesterday and running, and that track was good. And I know they brought an expert in from Louisville, Kentucky, to examine the soil on the track, and another gentleman who was landscaping and working the configurations of that track. I would think that with all the rain, that the track somehow becomes uneven. And then secondly, I think that with the cold weather, it might harden that track. When you were working horses there, did you notice any difference from one day to another if you were on that regiment cycle, Alex?
Well, the only thing that I given feedback to Santa Anita, one of the things that I said to them, it was, when you were galloping throughout some part of the track, you can hear the crunchiness. That means that you were scraping the bottle, so that, from all the rain and packing it down and opening it up, they got into uneven spot. And then, of course, we get all that rain. We got that combination of the track to hold the moist, and then we get that cold weather. I'm not a track man, so I didn't know. And what it concerns me is you get all that moist and didn't dry out for days, and then underneath, down in the bottle, you don't know how cold it got. So getting back to what we're talking about Keys, and you go to Acre the winter time, people know how to deal with this kind of track. We never had this kind of crazy weather and so on. So it's nobody's fault. And I'm Sanita and all of us, we're working together to find a solution. And this is we just left with experience for the future.
I want to congratulate Santa Anita, and I want to stress something really important to everybody listening to this race show, that we need Santa Anita in California. If Santa Anita goes, the whole racing in California goes. We have to support Santa Anita. May it be good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, so they have the roulette wager, which I'm not really a big fan of. But, hey, put that aside. Let me be able to talk about what Santa Anita brings to the whole racing game. Unless we take care of Santa Anita and fine-tune it, and I think they really did a great job. They brought the expert out, as mentioned, from Kentucky. They really went to work to see exactly where the problems are. I mean, there were 16 horses that have gone down. I think Larry Zapp is joining us live from Santa Anita at 9:22 if we have him on. Zapp, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Felix.
Good, man. Thanks. We had a little problem with the phone connections, and we have Alex Solis on with us, Tommy D inside the studio. We're talking about the situation. I was at a friend's mechanic shop in Del Mar. I had to get my oil changed, and I was talking to the mechanic, and all of a sudden on Monday, a guy gets off his truck and says, "Hey, Felix, how you doing?" He says, "Big problems at Santa Anita. I saw him on the news." I said, "What news?" He says, "On the nightly news." And I said, "The nightly news?" He says, "Yeah, it was the lead story that 16 horses have been euthanized, and the track is closed, and they have problems up there, and so forth and so on." Zapper, what have you heard in regard to from the problem itself to where it is today and how Santa Anita is moving forward?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that Santa Anita was right on top of the situation, like you said, bringing in that expert. And, there's no doubt that the rain had everything to do with it. But to have the general public be misled by the nightly news or the morning news, they thought there was some kind of a viral infection. Some people thought that actually horses were just dropping like flies. I mean, we had way more breakdowns than we needed to have, but we had way more rain than we needed to have. And I think it's a product of sealing this track as often as they have sealed it. And at bottom, just like if you had a flood in your house, you'd have to go and not only replace the carpet, but replace what's underneath the carpet. And I think they've done a good job. And now that we're getting more rain, which is raining right now in Arcadia, we'll see how this new installment of the track plays. But I think they're right on top of it, and the track's been transparent. And I don't know where the news media gets some of its information, because some people just asked me some wacky questions this week, Felix.
Oh, you and me both, bro. I want to tell you, I've been bombarded. I called Tommy D yesterday. I said, "Hey, listen, Santa Anita is taking the best of all. They're the punches. I mean, they're just people are coming out of the woodwork. Social media. This one girl started a campaign against Tim Ritbo. She wants him out, and she believes that that is the graveyard of horses at Santa Anita right now. You go back and you look at the injuries, and, you got to say, hey, look, well, that is a lot of horses that have been euthanized. Man, we have a situation and a crisis here. How do we deal with that crisis? Tommy D., Santa Anita didn't waste any time into bringing the expert in from Churchill Downs or Kentucky to examine the soil and to have one of their maintenance foremen of the track get on there and really go to work. And yesterday, quite frankly, I got to tell you, I thought that track was as good as it possibly could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to bring the expert out from the East Coast, Kentucky, East Coast, where they get this weather. As we said, the weather's not usually rainy like this. So to get this much rain, I think 13 years, like I said, I've been in Southern California, haven't seen this much rain. They're not used to this, so they're sitting there and trying to figure this out. But they're doing everything they can to fix the problem. And obviously, the main goal is keeping the horses healthy on the track. So hats off to them to getting the expert out there, getting the track, in place, and hopefully we'll see some good racing today, Felix.
Alex Solis joining us, Hall of Fame jockey Alex Solis, and also on the California Horse Racing Board, now the assistant trainer to Richard Mandela. Yeah, Mandela and Solis. Is it like peanut butter and jelly? Well, 1996 at Del Mar. I'll never forget this day. Maybe you won't either, Tommy D, if you were here, but Larry Zapp might have been there as well, and 44,000 flocked to Del Mar in the Pacific Classic. It was the greatest day in Del Mar history, without any doubt. I have never seen so many beautiful people all packed in one place, all ready to watch Cigar trying to break Citation 16 win streak at Del Mar. And guess who spoiled the party, Tommy D?
Oh, I think I know the story. Alex Solis.
Alex Solis spoiled that party, and he was the villain. After he won on a 25-35 to 1 shot, Darren Go, trained by his boss, Richard Mandela. Alex, that was one day that I'm sure in your illustrious career you'll never forget.
Oh, that's for sure. That's the only race that I won that I was booing. People were booing at me.
They were booing you after you won the race.
Yeah, I was coming back with my horse, and instead of getting all the applause, I was getting all the booing.
Well, I'll tell you, 44,000. I'll never forget looking in from the paddock up, and it looked like people were just painted in that facility. Alex, before we let you fly, I know that it's your day off, and I don't want to keep you on the radio. I'm sure you have more important things to do, but we appreciate you joining us here on the radio. Alex, how's Austin doing? Your son Austin riding up at Golden Gate.
Yeah, he's doing okay. He started very strong, and now he's slowed down a little bit up there. It's again the Santa is a lot of rain up there, and a lot of people are not running because the weather and so on, and so it's got a little slow for everybody. They're running less and less horses, so hopefully this weather change and everybody gets to work a little more.
All right, Alex, final question I have for you. All right, here's the toughest question that you'll be asked all morning. What's your latest bottle of wine that you could recommend to somebody to have with a great dish of pasta?
Oh, my God. Well, yeah.
You want to get back with me on
any kind of bottle of wine.
Come on, Alex. Come on, you let me down, bro. I mean, the connoisseur of wines, and you're going to go ahead and say any kind of wine? I mean, come on, man. What's the last bottle of wine you had? Tell us what it was.
Well, I had a Pinot Noir. But as you know now, before I can sleep in into 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Now I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. So
You don't drink the
I
wine.
don't get as much wine as I used to.
I love you, brother. I love you. Hey, we'll see you real soon. The best to you and your family. Thanks for joining us, and keep representing our sport. We need you on the board as well as learning a new trade as the assistant trainer to Richard Mandela, and we'll check in with you real soon.
All right, thank you. And I just wanted to let the people know we're doing the best that we can to keep our horses safe. And when I joined the CHRB, the main reason was because I want to make sure that the 37-year experience that I have race riding, I wanted to contribute for the safety of the horses, and that's one of the reasons that I put my neck on the line for the safety of the horse, and I just want people to know that they're very committed to keep that going.
Appreciate that very much. We need you. You're a tribute to the game. You're a Hall of Famer. You are California racing, and you need to continue to monitor the situations. And job one, as you mentioned, take care of the horses. Alex, we will check in with you down the road, as always, my friend. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your day off. We'll talk real soon.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a good day.
You too, buddy. That's Alex Solis. Top shelf. I go back with Alex when he first came here. First came to Southern California. Wow. I just love his son, Austin. I think it's his youngest boy. I'm almost sure it's his youngest boy now. He has a bloodstock agent, Alex Jr. I know he has 3 or 4 boys, 3 boys and a girl, but a great family man and good father. Good friend, Alex Solis. Zapper, we're talking about Gulfstream Park before, we're throwing curveballs here in the weather. The wind's blowing against the window and moving us all around. But Gulfstream Park, Zapper, what do you think?
Oh, I think they have a big card. I think that's what we're coming down to. Or maybe we've always been there. Fountain of Youth Day. A lot of stakes going on. There's going to be some small, short-price horses, but there's some competitive racing, and obviously everybody has the same question: what's this hidden scroll going to do after that win on Pegasus Day? This was he was tour de force for Bill Mott, and you brought Bill Mott on the next day, if I recall, and. We'll see what he's capable of. Jaywalk, the champion 2-year-old filly, he's running back today. A lot of good grass racing, a lot of Chad Brown runners. He's just like cornering the market, as they say. But all in all, they have much better weather than we do and a much bigger card with 14 races. And it's a combination of turf, dirt, and a lot of stakes, like I said. So we're getting a lot closer to that first Saturday in May, Felix.
Without any doubt about that. Hey, I want to close the Santa Anita situation with this little personal note. There's a lot of people up there at Santa Anita that do a tremendous job. And they love the game like we love the game. I'm talking about the Vice President of Marketing, Nate Newby, or it could be Tom Quigley doing his Quigley Corner seminars. It could be Peter Lorre or Michelle Yu, really bringing us the analysis, or it could be the hornblower. And I hope Jay Cohen is doing a whole lot better. I heard that he's been sidelined with some sort of palsy. He's been a long time trumpeter, bugle man, call to the post guy. So, Jay, our thoughts are with you as well, getting healthy. There's a lot of good people behind the scenes. There's a lot of great people, trainers, hot walkers, grooms, that really get up early in the morning to take care of the horses. They're never heard of because they do such a great job. And this situation affects everyone. This was very serious is what's going on at Santa Anita. When you lead the nightly news with a horse racing story, which we have a Triple Crown winner last year and we couldn't even do it, but now with horses breaking down, and rightfully so. Okay, look, that's a story. I'm concerned about it. You're concerned about it. Most of us are all concerned about it. And that's the way it goes. But the bottom line is this. There's a lot of good people who put their heart and soul into this game, and they work at Santa Anita. And I'll tell you this, and I'll say it again. We need Santa Anita to succeed, or California horse racing is dead. And so you want a bad rap, Santa Anita? I would urge you to turn your view around and support them. May it be good, bad, or indifferent, but just support them for the industry's sake. Because since Hollywood Park is closed, we are in major problems here in Southern California. And I don't know how long this radio program will go on. It might go on for another week, another month, another 20 years. But the bottom line is that we care about this game of thoroughbred horse racing, and we all can do our little part. When we take a look at Gulfstream Park, we see 14 races. We can't even fill 8 horses a race here, or 8 races. But they're continuing to try. Let's go to Santa Anita. And when you look at Santa Anita's card, Zapper, did anything jump off the page of their 10-race card today?
Scratches is going to be off the grass. That's about it. It's going to be a steel track, Felix. I'm not one who's going to say, I can't wait to sink my teeth into the Santa Anita card. We just had the track renovated. Basically, now it's rain, and now we have to wonder how it's going to play. Are they going to steal it like they were stealing it? Because that could have been the cause or the culprit of the problem. And just to finish off with what you had to say about, you didn't mention it, but these pariahs that act like animal activists, that just all they try to do is give themselves a worthy cause so they can have a worthy life, and they pick on the wrong people, because Santa Anita and the racing industry polices itself, and we don't need them to jump on a high-profile situation and try to boycott and close us down. What we need to do is take care of our own business, and that's what we have done. And I'm just a little tired of it. I was talking to Matt Chu, who was part of that show Luck that PETA closed down or helped close down on HBO, and it gets old that they jump out of nowhere just on a high-profile situation. And it makes me sick, because you mentioned all these people that work around the racetrack. Well, they're all animal lovers. They all get to know these animals, take care of these animals. We built Hall of Fames for these animals, and we don't need these people who jump out of nowhere just to get some notoriety themselves. It just sickens me. But Santa Anita will go on. It'll go on today, and there'll be a lot of scratches. And maybe not their best card after all the scratches, but it'll be playable. It's always playable. It's beautiful. Anytime you go and bet the races in Southern California, it's a beautiful day.
I want to get Ritvo back on this radio program, and I want to ask him about the Ship and Win program. Why Santa Anita has faltered on that? Why haven't they gone and really negotiated and promoted California racing to get some of these long? I did a number study yesterday. I think there were 62 horses running at Aqueduct and 75 at Tampa Bay and so forth and so on. And so it's not only here in California do we have horse shortages. It's, everywhere else. Gulfstream, you have a bigger net to draw from without any question, bigger territory draw. In the Midwest, with the purses in the casino action with Churchill Downs and Keelan starting up here really soon, it'll be big time. And then you draw from all over the Midwest, Indiana, Louisiana, Kentucky, and what have you. So, Arkansas, you get some horses there. And Arkansas racing has been very good. And Vic Stauffer is the race call announcer there. I want to shout out. I mean, his calls have been excellent. You might hate this guy and call him the goof on the roof, but I want to tell you something. His calls at Oaklawn Park have been spot on, very, very good. Frank Miramonte doing a tremendous job at Santa Anita as well. All right, so let me ask you guys a question. You guys are the experts. You, Tommy D, come in here with all the information and all your boards. You put the effort in. Sapper, he's like a VHS machine. He just records in his brain. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want you to give me your honest answer. Does Felix the Fox win the 10th race at Gulfstream to kick off the Pick 5, Tommy D? 10 through 14, that's where there's value today. That's where we'll focus our attention. Toby Terrell will be joining us a little bit later on. He'll give us maybe some of the updated scratches, and maybe Zapper can get it. But let's go to Gulfstream Park, Tommy D. Felix the Fox, race number 10, and guess who was aboard? Joel Rosario. What do you think?
I mean, you got to feel good about Rosario up on Felix the Fox. Yeah, I think this horse does have a chance. Blinkers coming on. Claude McGahee, 20%. Blinkers coming on. This horse by Tappet. The dam side is Ghost Zapper, 4-1 there. I think it's got a legitimate shot, but I think you got to spread in this race a little bit more. Number 7, High Amplitude. We talked about Brown having a lot of horses today. Brown Ortiz Jr., second start. Second its last behind Hidden Scroll. We'll see how Hidden Scroll does. But this horse, pay attention to see how well it does in this race, 9-2. And number 8, Ranger Up, 3-1 its last on the scene here on a sloppy track. You got Pletcher, so if the track's in better shape, 5-1. I think that's a fair price. And then Identifier, Navarro. I think you spread in this race, favoring its last, but with the 7 and 8 in the same race. Jockey Trainer, 34%. But I'm spreading here with the mid shots. I'll be using the 7, 6, 8, and 4 in that order in race 10.
That's a lot of words, man. I asked you, is Felix the Fox going to win? Okay?
And I gave you the answer,
which is
quickly, that it has a chance. I'm not going to put all my money and say Felix the Fox is going to win.
What about you, Zapper?
Tough race.
Well, I'll tell you what. Felix the Fox, who's had 4 chances, 2 seconds, a third in his last 3 starts, he's running some key races. Signal Man's been won his first race. He's a stakes winner. And Country House ran second to World of War, who was second in his last race and came back to break his maiden. I think he's got a huge shot in here. He does add blinkers, and I think that's going to be key. My top selection is probably the 2-horse Haunt. I love the pedigree. Go Zapper out of Distorted Humor Mare. And he's a half to Elate, who we all remember as one of the top fillies and mares on the dirt in the last couple of years. Dolmont had that horse. And Haunt would get top billing 6-1. Own it if you want it. I'd also use the 1 horse, and I'd throw in your horse, Felix the Fox. Obviously, a Tap It out of a good Go Zapper mare, Wine Princess. We're back on that wine topic, so if you cash out on Felix the Fox today, make sure you get some wine and a princess.
Yeah, Zappa. So I'm with you there. I think, the 2-1, those are the next 2 horses on my board. So I would spread it in this race because it's a maiden special weight here. A lot of the guys are going to be having the horses fired. They want to win on this big day. So I think it's going to be a very competitive race here than this maiden special race. Let's move along to race 11. This is the Honey Fox, grade 3, 1 mile on the turf. Give us your top selection here, who you like and why.
Well, Precious was second to Uni. That really should be all you have to say. It is off a layoff for Chad Brown. We're talking about the 1 horse. Irish bred filly, ran huge, first time in the country. Because of XBTV, I've been able to see a couple of her recent workouts, which showed me that she's sitting on ready. And I think if you need a single in the sequence here, number 1, Precious, would be my single because I just think she's being very well meant here. One other horse that I would throw in if I had to go a little deeper would be on the outside, Dolce Lily, the 10 horse. This horse coming off a hard fought win, going 7.5 furlongs on a yielding turf at Gulfstream. Bill Mott, Scat Daddy. I just think she'll get a good trip in here. So I'm going to bookend it. 1 and 10 for me, but the 1 could be a single on many tickets for me in race number 11, the Honey Fox.
Yeah, and I thought number 1 was a good shot here. I did like number 9, Bella Vegas. This horse 2 wins on 3 starts on the Gulfstream, and this is on a firm turf. You throw out that 1 on the yielding turf. It's a good track. You got Pletcher, Rosario. I like the options here. 1 out of last 2 out of 3. I got to put the 9 in there, and then number 9, number 2, Val Victorian is going to be the speed here. 1 to grade 3 at the mile and 1/8. They're going to shorten up to the mile. I think the horse has a chance, too, at 6-1. So, I see a very good value in a couple of these races.
Question for you. Tommy D, you're first. Zapper will be on deck. When you look at Gulfstream, do you look to see where the Ortiz brothers are first in every race?
Well, I mean...
answer yes or no.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Not right off the bat, but
All
that
right.
is definitely
Zapper, when you look at Gulfstream, do you look where the Ortiz brothers are?
Well, it depends. If Joel Rosario is there, and he's there, so I look at all 3, to be honest with you.
All righty. Let's go to the 12th race, Tommy D. We're live at Gulfstream. This is a pick 5, 14 races included on this Fountain of Youth Day, a big, big day. And Didn't we have Kenny McPeak on just a couple weeks ago talking about Signal Man?
We did. We had Kenny McPeak, and he really thought Signal Man was coming around. Won the Grade 2 last time at Churchill Downs in the fall. So it's been off for a little bit, but it has Hernandez aboard. So,
Yep.
Signal Man number 6 looks like it'd be a good shot here in race 13, the Fountain of Youth.
And then as Zapper releases Harvey Wallbanger in the Holy Bowl down at Gulfstream Park. Same connections there. 12th race we go. Tommy D, what do you think about the 12th?
Oh, this is going to be a good one. If number 1 Jaywalk does not show up, you are going to find some value in this race. Number 1 Jaywalk, this horse has done nothing wrong, has won 5 in a row, including the Breeders' Cup Filly at Churchill Downs by 5.5 lengths. This horse, if it comes back off the bench, this horse should win at the distance here. I really like Jaywalk. But number 5, Champagne Anyone. This would be a horse that I'd throw in there. We had Ian Wilkes on our show talking about this horse. This horse was third and last in the Grade 3 Forward Gal. Could get better here. And then number 6, Bold Script was another one at 12-1 that may be a long shot price. Won by a 7.5 at Woodbine. It's going to be going from the synthetic to dirt. So if it could take to the surface, 12-1, good price. But 1 Jaywalk is going to be the one to beat here. 2-5 though.
All right, 12th race. Zapper, what do you have, my man?
Yeah, it's a single Jaywalk. XPTV, I mean, give the Stronach Group some credit for allowing us to see a lot of these horses where we normally wouldn't know what to do with a layoff horse. But the way Jaywalk looked in her one workout I saw, be really tough to beat her. I agree that Champagne Anyone could be, if there needed to be an upsetter. I might use her in some other tickets just to try to blow up the ticket. But number 1, Jaywalk Felix just looks like too much horse for this group of fillies.
All right, Fountain of Youth is next up here as we go into the 14-race card at Gulfstream Park. If you're joining us, ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you are, I know we have a number of first-time listeners that are joining us on this radio program. Track Talk, WSRadio.com, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time every Saturday and Sunday morning, along with Tommy D, Larry Zapp, Toby Terrell, and guests of this radio program that will pop in here. We welcome you to tell your friends about it every Saturday and Sunday. We talk about the issues. We break down the races. We love this sport. And Nikki out there just the top of the morning. And Coco, happy birthday to you, Coco. As we move forward into the Fountain of Youth, I just sat back here, and as you and Zapper were going back and forth, Tommy D, I was thinking about, man, we really had some great guests on this radio program over the last month. Bill Mott, Ian Wilkes, Kenny McPeak, Jeff Bondi, Mark Cassie. That's pretty heavyweight company keeping. Bringing them here, telling their stories. What do you think about Signal Man? Zapper down in the Fountain of Youth.
I think he's too slow. This is a race that has a couple of really fast horses, and they're the obvious horses. The 5 Bacoma coming off a layoff, very underrated, underappreciated, and I'm going to get you George Weaver's phone number. He was a Todd Pletcher assistant. He worked for Jeff Lucas and Dwayne Lucas when he started. He's got a good pedigree. I've gotten to know him through some East Coast friends. He's done a great job with Bacoma. He freshened him after winning the National in November. He's going to get overlooked a little because obviously the 7-horse Hidden Scroll is going to take all the money, and he ran a bang-up race on Pegasus Day, and he's looked good since then. Once again, thank you, XBTV. Both these horses have looked good. But I'm going to go a third horse. I'm going to try to beat Signal Man. I'm going to go with Bourbon War, the 4-horse. This horse, much improved race. I love the race over the track. He's 10-1. He's got one of those Ortiz brothers I read. So I'm going 3 deep here. I think my top selection's got to be the 5 Bacoma, playing him with the 4 and 7, trying to get through this leg of that late pick 5.
Zap, I'm with you. Number 5, Vacoma, top choice here, 2 for 2 on the career. This horse is improving each time. I know you said coming off the bench. I'd like to hear that the workouts look good. This horse looks good. Manny Franco loves this horse, 2 times up on the horse. I expect this horse to be very competitive today. Hidden Scroll, as we said, 104 buyer last time out, winning by 14 in its maiden. It was on a sloppy track, so I will use it, but I'm not totally sold. I want to see another race. Number 8, Global Campaign is one that I thought at a price 10-1. You got Curlin on top, and then you got a Dam by AP Indy on the bottom here. The connections interest me a little bit. 2 for 2. It's going to be stepping up big in class, but I thought that one was interested in number 4, Bourbon War. Like you said, this horse closed nice last time. You get Ortiz Jr. by Tappet. Those are the horses I like here in this race. Maybe one Code of Honor, throw it in the mix too. I think this race is wide open. I'm going to be trying to beat number 7, Hidden Scroll, and hopefully doesn't come back as strong. I know those videos are good, but we got some. This is a strong field, a stronger field than last.
All right, let's go to the 14th race, Tommy D, as we close the pick 5, 50-cent pick 5. And I guess if you're going to play and you want to really hit the ball long and hard, then you throw yourself into a pick 5 because it seems that they're paying just very, very handsomely on the return. And Gulfstream is no exception. Yesterday, the Stronach pick 5, connecting Laurel's 9th, Gulfstream's 10th and 11th, Golden Gate's 5th, and Santa Anita's 5th. Started out with an 8-1 shot at Laurel. And it eventually ended up paying $4,000 to the favorite at Santa Anita. Had the favorite not won, Tommy D, the payoffs, the second place horse, which was Red Envelope, that $1 bet to Red Envelope was paying $36,000 on a 50-cent bet. And you had an $18 horse, you had a $440 horse, you had $440, you had a $9 horse. The prices weren't that big for $4,000. I mean, you had 3 chalks. And my point being is that we're closing the 14th race at Gulfstream Park, and folks are going to play this pick 5, Tommy D. You know that. You're going to play it as well.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be there's going to be a lot of money in here. Big races. Like I said, there's 9 graded stakes at Gulfstream, and it closes out pretty strong with a big grade 2 race here at Gulfstream. And number 6, Zulu Alpha, was my top choice here. Michael Maker and Ortiz Jr. here, won last time, grade 3, on a yielding track here at Gulfstream. It was 1.5 miles. I also like a horse, number 3, Melmick, at 15-1. I'm going to take a shot here. This horse was closing fast in its last. You get Castellano up on the horse. This horse was second in a grade 3 at Woodbine, 2 back, missing by a half length. 15-1, I love the price. I'm going to be trying to beat number 11, Channel Maker, so I might throw Channel Maker in the mix on the ticket, and then maybe 5, Vittori. But my top choice, number 6 and 3, would be the two horses I really like in this closing race.
Quickly now, real quick, give me a recap of Tommy D's pick 5 ticket from Gulfstream Park. We're going to start in race number 10. It's a 50-cent bet. We're going to go right through the 14th. What do you have?
All right, so I would use in the race one, and I'm going to use some of Zapp's too. So I changed my ticket up because Zapp's a great handicapper, and I want to make sure to use some of his picks. So in the first race, I'll be using 7, 6, 8, 2, and 1.
Okay.
7, 8, 6, 2, 1.
Race
Sorry,
number 11?
I'm adjusting it so I have Zapp's picks in too. In race 11, I'm going to be using the 9, 1, and 2.
9, 1, 2 in race number 11.
Yep. In race 12, I'll be singling number 1, Jaywalk.
You're going to single Jaywalk, the 1 in race 12. 13th, the Fountain of Youth.
13th, I'm going to be using the 5, the 7, the 8, the 4, and the 6.
Okay, so you're going to go 5 here in the 13th, and then the 14th race.
I'm going to just use. I'm going to try to get there. I'm going to use 3 horse in the last 6, 3, and 11. I'm going to get a buddy on this one.
Zapper, you want to add anything more to his ticket, or do you have one of your own?
I just want to I just want to add in the last leg the 4 horse Hunter O'Reilly. This horse has had some trouble in a couple of his trips recently. He had the comeback race. I think a 10-1, just add number 4, Hunter O'Reilly, to that last 14th race and hopefully end with a winning ticket.
You know, that's Tyler Gaffalione, my boy. I'll tell you what, we got to watch for our man Tyler Gaffalione, and we also got to watch out for Tanner's Pride. okay, because Tanner's Pride wins again last weekend. That was the horse that Toby Terrell, named after his son, of course, or it's his son's namesake horse, without any question, however you want to chop it up. It's Tanner's Pride. Toby Terrell joins us at 9:54 on a Saturday morning. Toby, how are you?
Doing great, Felix, and of course, most of those horses are sired by Tanner's my man.
Absolutely, and he's your boy. It's like
Yes,
Luca
indeed.
Bear. Tommy's son is called Luca, so we need a horse called Luca Bear. So
Well, you know what? Find yourself start by finding yourself a nice stallion, and that's the way I guess it starts.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, what do you make of Santa Anita today? You out there? Are there are no workouts? What's going on?
Yeah, no workouts. That rain kicked in right about 3 o'clock this morning, and it really hasn't let up since. So we will have the old sealed racetrack today in play, and I would imagine more of the same. There are some good races, though, Felix. We got a very promising filly running for Baffert, 3-year-old Tisnow filly named Fleur de Lamar. So we got a lot of variety sprinkled in this 10-race card.
All right. So you have $100, 50 to win in place on any horse on this 10-race card. Where's it go?
Well, let's get a little creative down in race number 9 and go with the number 1 horse, Samurai Jack, here for Mark Glatt. This is a horse that I believe has been switched on by Glatt. The horse really has struggled to finish up to this point. That's why he's still a maiden, even though he's got speed. But today I see something different. I think Glatt has gone to work on this horse, and I think Samurai Jack will be the horse that hopefully rides that 50 and 50 bet to the cashier's line.
What about Emperor Tommy, Tommy D? Should we bet you today at Santa Anita, Tommy D?
I don't know if I would play it. I like the name, but, maybe.
I'm just making it up, bro.
I was going to say,
Okay.
I didn't see that, but I was like, hey, you pulled one past me, but I do miss some things sometimes.
Emperor Tommy. We'll name a horse. Luca Bear and Emperor Tommy. Tommy, the 10-race card at Santa Anita, did you have anything at all?
A lot of the races I liked were truly on the turf. So, I was talking about the horse that Toby briefly mentioned. I like that Baffert horse. This horse looks to be really impressive in race 8. I don't know what the conditions will be like, but I think this horse will show up. Number 1, Fleur de Lamar will be the favorite, but with the conditions, there's a lot of turf races coming off. So pay attention in the first couple races today at Santa Anita.
Toby, I know you just got off your show in Boston, Massachusetts, and we were talking about the situations that have plagued Santa Anita, and I wanted to get you in there. We're down to 3 minutes. It would take longer than 3 minutes to ask you the questions I have, so we'll just roll that over to tomorrow. Where's your best bet, Double T?
Well, I'm going to give another mention to my good friend who races under ITA Thoroughbreds. His name is Rick Arzola, and he is a class guy. He's actually moved down south down there. He's kind of semi-retired now down Rancho Santa Fe way, but he has a lot of ambition and passion to build a nice stable full of runners. And I think today he might strengthen the old stable roster with a win in race number 5 with the number 4 horse, Soothing. I do remember I gave this horse out on Super Bowl Sunday. It's funny how things help your memory along, but can't forget that. And today it's not Super Bowl Sunday, but it's Super Saturday here. And number 4, Soothing, I believe, goes to the winner's circle in race number